Oh god, I'm watching the wrong part again.
And that noise you just heard is the noise Stefan makes when he orgasms. Good to know.
He just loves Mighty Number 9 much.
That's how all Canadians orgasm. They just sound good one. They just sound bored out of their mind.
Is that a fidget spinner?
Yes, because fuck this game.
It's not the Havoc engine.
Hey.
So yes, Mighty Number 9, or as I like to call it, the greatest Christmas gift Stefan has ever received.
I can still forget if I asked you for this or not. If you just like, I'm gonna get this for you. I said okay.
I think.
No, it was the other way around. Gareth got it for you. I remember.
No, I got it for him, but
oh my god.
This game's loading. This game's loading screens rival 06s, and I cut out all of them except for this one.
I will say like they're long, but unlike 06, like it's just one per level. They don't make you, unless from what I remember playing through what little of this game I played through, they don't have mid-level loading.
It's only once per level, but whenever you die, you get a loading screen, and I die a lot.
You know, that might just be the Wii U version, because I was playing...
Oh my god.
I was playing the PS4 version yesterday, and I died a lot, and I don't remember too much loading between deaths. It may just be the Wii U version.
I don't either.
This whole game's nothing but rip-offs. Even ripping off something from the future.
Oh, yeah.
Although, Stefan, I like how the last thing you claimed it ripped off. Technically, would that be Forces ripping off this game?
Well, I just said it rips off. It rips off everything, even stuff that come out in the future.
God damn it, Afune, you time traveling bastard!
also because I never said it. I'm here, Stefan. There's Gareth, TJ, and Carol. Because we all like Mega Man, so of course we want to see bad Mega Man.
Mexi was gonna be here, but he had some. He was literally pulled away at the last second before we were set to record. So hopefully we'll get him in the next recording block we do of this.
So he can scream at this game too.
I wouldn't call you smart for that, Carol, because you've done plenty of dumb shit.
No, I haven't. Can't prove that.
So it's Mighty Number 9. You jump and shoot.
It's Mega Man X.
Only it only doesn't work.
So you know what? I forget this. Our protagonist, as Mr. Plinkett would say, his name is Beck.
He is Beck.
Beck. Okay.
The president looks like a me.
And his sister's name is Call.
I get it. You know what? That's you can't groan at that because Mega Man was just as bad. Rock, Roll, and Blues, like they're both dumb.
At the time, it was clever.
No, it wasn't. Even back then, well, at least in the Western countries, he wasn't called Rock. He was just Mega Man. Like he didn't have a alternate identity.
The Beck and Call isn't bad because of that pun Beck and Call. It's bad because it's like, haha, get it? It's like rock and roll. Ha ha ha. And it's like, no.
It's like I know this game was crowdfunded, and I think Stefan, was it 2 or 4 million it ended up with?
It was I want to say 3 million.
3 million. So I was wrong on both accounts. Good to know. So it is weird how so even though this got way more than it expected, 3 million is still not that much, you know, for games made in for like modern consoles. Even with that said, this game looks Even with that said, this game looks like shit.
It was $3.8 million.
So I was close. So you know what? This game would not look. I'm tempted to say this game wouldn't look too bad if it was made for the Wii, but there's still so many things like there's no lip syncing on any of the characters. Like the animations are bad. It's just things where it's like graphically this game might feel more at home on the Wii, but it would still feel cheap.
Yeah.
There's a
Stefan, I like how you fucked up the very first thing.
Little Caesars, the pizza explosion.
I had to do the pizza joke.
I
Because
love-
like there was a WiiWare game. It's a 3D platformer called Jet Rocket, and that looks like on par with this game. But that's also a really like cheapy, like that's a really cheap like WiiWare title. And this was a almost $4 million game that was released on every single console.
Do you know
Wait,
what
wait.
the budget was for that Wii game?
Probably a
yeah.
fraction of the 4 million. But again, it isn't even the fact that it's the fact that it got 4 million because like anyone can kickstart the game and get money. I think it's the fact that this game was made by professional game makers. Like it had Inafune who worked at Capcom for several years, and I think I may be wrong in this, but I think several of the key team members were like ex-Capcom developers who
believe
had
so.
worked with Inafune. So it's also just the fact that you have these professional these professional people working on this game, which exceeded by a country. I think its original goal was just 500,000. I want to say. I think it was.
It was 900,000.
Oh, okay, fair.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
And so it got a lot better than it, but it's I mean, just look at this, man. Again, graphics on everything. Like the fact that this game looks bad is the least of this game's problems. It's just like why?
But I think the thing that really like sticks Mighty Number 9 is they were too ambitious. Like I think it's fine to criticize the graphics because they were like, oh, we got $4 million. Like we're so confident in this game, we're going to like plan like a whole Mighty Number 9 franchise. We're gonna get a spin-off. We're gonna get a TV show. We're gonna get a movie. We're gonna get sequels.
I also
and
think
yeah.
no, up to you, man.
No, I was just saying that they put so much like attention into how good they thought this game was going to be, and they put like it's not just the fact the game is bad, but that everything around the game is just completely terrible. Like this is how not to do a Kickstarter campaign. Like not even just the final product, but just how they didn't give people their rewards. They never told anybody. They were really terrible with actually communicating with how the production was going. It was like they were trying to treat themselves like, oh, this is like a full-fledged like game by a big game company, so we don't need to tell everybody exactly what we're doing. But when your $4 million is taken from the people, you kind of need to tell them what's going on because then
Well, it's better
get
than
something-
nothing, Stefan.
we will get into that in a little bit, but to go back to what you said about the graphics, Stefan, I think a big source of contention is if you look at their concept art for like how I think it was like some previs of like this is what we want the game to look like. It looks fucking nothing like this.
And I mean, like, say something like, so there's something like Yooka-Laylee, which cost like half as much as this.
TJ's favorite game.
Gameplay wise, you can like it or not like it as much as you want, but that game did exactly what it was promised,
Nope.
and it didn't screw over people.
It screwed over my expectations.
Yeah,
Yeah, but
same.
TJ, you're dumb, so shut up.
That was a well-executed response.
So you know what, TJ stole your face. Got him.
Also, not to mention that there's something like, say, Shovel Knight,
Yep.
which
Shovel
is another
Knight.
Kickstarter game that like completely blows this out of the water.
True, but I mean, if we're talking on just a visual level, I think it's a lot easier for a like pixel art game to deliver the promise of visuals.
Well, I'm talking visual style, gameplay style, like
Gotcha.
actually communicating with people,
I-
giving people more stuff after the game's already been completed.
Yeah, I will say, because I did not back this. I did back Yooka-Laylee, something I vaguely regret. But, in to be fair to them, they were very upfront with, like, here's what we're doing, here's updates. After the game came out, I know TJ, he felt more betrayed than anyone ever has in their life. But Playtonic were very like, we know people have complained about this, and this, so here's a patch fixing this, and this, or so this and this and this. Like they were, to be fair, like you can not like the final product, but yeah, Playtonic were very professional. With how they show it. Also, I liked in their Kickstarter. This is a point that Smoothies brought up. In their Kickstarter, they showed exactly like where the money's going, and they included things like taxes, which most Kickstarters don't, because obviously you have to pay tax on these things. So I think the pie chart was like 65% game making. Then we need some money for like the backer rewards, for taxes, for like bills and shit like that. Which again, and I wasn't too happy with Yooka-Laylee, and I may not kickstart another game from that development team, but in terms of professionality, they were very good. Not so much, from what I gather, not so much with Mighty Number 9.
No, not at all.
Because you can clearly tell that these people, they either, like, I'm going to assume they didn't have any accountants on hand, because you can very clearly tell that they had no idea what to do. They clearly didn't expect to get this amount of money, and they didn't have the... They didn't expect how much money certain things would cost. Like, they're like, oh, we can port this... We have $4 million. We can port this to every single other console. It'll be fine. And then you get, like, the Wii U version and the 3DS version, which are just completely worse.
Did the 3DS version ever come out?
Yeah, the 3DS version never came out. Like, I think they sent, like, what was it? Instruction manuals, box art to some backers.
The 3DS and the Vita version were supposed to come out, but never did.
And didn't it take, like, over 2 years for people to get their, like...
Yeah.
Their backing gifts, like the original box art and stuff like that. Like, that's like, the Channel Awesome... fucking quiz show level of just how incompetent are you? Jesus Christ!
On a scale from concept to Channel Awesome, how incompetent is your fundraising?
And the thing about that scale is, no matter where you land, you're fucking incompetent.
Find the computer room.
So maybe we should talk. Stefan, do you want to explain how the game? I know we talked about it briefly, but explain how the game actually plays. Seeing as we're on level 2 now.
The game it's basically like Mega Man. You jump and shoot, and then you have a slide. But the one thing I will say is kind of, it's a good idea, not really good execution. Is that they really play around with the slide. In that, in order to kill enemies, you shoot them a bit, then they turn a certain color, and then you slide into them, and then you collect these things, dash, slide, whatever, and then you turn into you absorb these things called Zells, and basically the Zells are what you use to power up your items that you end up like collecting, like the Robot Master power-ups, which in this game are like the Mighty Numbers. So you go through each of the levels, and you fight a Mighty Number, and then once you beat them, you collect their power-up, and then you go on to the next level, and rinse and repeat for like 8 times. I think the big problem with the game is that they have this dash mechanic that you want to use. But the problem is that the level design does not fit. God, I did that.
What the fuck?
Because one of the things in this game is that it has an E-Tank option, but unlike Mega Man games, is you can't find E-Tanks in the level and collect them. What you do is that there's one E-Tank you'll randomly like pick up from certain not eddies, and then the other E-Tank you get from collecting a whole bunch of Zell, and that's it. So it's basically the E-Tanks in this game are all luck, which is another really annoying thing to deal with.
Yeah.
And we aren't going to get to it right now, but so you know how in other Mega Man games you could pause the game and select whichever Robot Master power-up you could use?
Yeah.
You can't do that in this game.
Nice.
So there are moments when you're like stuck up in front of like fighting a boss, and you're trying to.
Do you do that every single time you pause the game?
just this level, because I paused so many times trying to figure out.
And I love it.
I only did that in this part because I paused so many times trying to get this to work.
Oh, there goes our strike for this video.
It's okay. It's 5 seconds. They won't know. Yeah, this game it borrows so much from Mega Man, but the problem is that it takes away most of the stuff that makes Mega Man work. Like, it has E-Tanks, but the E-Tanks are random. It has the Robot Master power-ups, but they make them really annoying to actually select and use.
Do you think Inafune or someone in upper management did that deliberately just so Capcom couldn't be you are taking too much from Mega Man?
Yes.
I don't know. I feel
but
like...
It almost feels like they... So, I know So, there's that complaint with the early Mega Man games where, you can't... Where it feels like it breaks up the gameplay too much to go to the pause screen, select the power-up, use the power-up, go back to the start screen, select your Mega Buster again. And that's why they added the whole, shoulder button version. But then it almost feels like they took it a step too far, where they're like, people don't like to do that, so we're going to take away that option entirely.
Well, I mean, to be fair of that though, that was just because the NES couldn't handle that. That was more a limitation of the console versus the game makers deciding to do that.
Yeah.
It's funny because I remember whenever I saw people complain about that, I'm like, oh yeah, that's understandable. It's kind of annoying to do that. But then when you completely take it away and you get to points where you're fighting a big boss, you need to pause to be like, okay, which item do I need to use at this point? And you can't do that. Then I'm finally like, oh shit, I kind of wish I had that now.
So what do you do then? Is it just on the shoulder buttons? You just cycle through? Which is weird because whenever I play Mega Man 8. I never go to the pause menu to get a weapon energy. I just cycle through them. So
you cycle through them. But I guess because since I'm not sure exactly what item does what, it's a lot harder to just scroll through the actual thing. So
I get that.
If I paused it and I got to see oh, this is the this weapon, this is the sword weapon, or this is the fire weapon, then I could easily be okay, this is what I want, and I click on it. But right now, since I just got the regular not Mega Buster, so there's no charge shot in this game.
You know what? Yesterday I went back to play that, and I think anyone who listened to Turkey Dance or Yes Friend episode 4, I just played that throughout the entire recording. For the first 10 minutes, I kept on pressing buttons where's the charge shot? Why doesn't this game have a charge shot?
Now they're gonna find out.
Stefan, now you put it in for 10 seconds, you damn fool. Now we're gonna get fucked. I think one of the tiers was professional voice acting, and they do get a handful of big time voice actors, but the voice direction is pretty terrible.
You mean only one?
Yeah,
what do you mean?
Who's the one?
Steve Bloom plays one of the Mighty Numbers. All the rest are people
Oh, does he? Oh.
Yes. Who plays? Isn't Quentin Flynn Beck?
Is he? I could have sworn. Cause I look.
That?
Yuri Lowenthal. Well, but yeah, he's just kind of okay.
I'm pretty sure the guy playing the fire guy is. I might be wrong, but I remember reading. I think it's Ben Driskin, who was Venom in Spectacular Spider. No, not Venom. He was He's not. I'm completely wrong. I think this guy's Crispin Freeman, who was Electro in Spectacular Spider-Man. Because when he screams, he sounds just like Electro when he screams.
Oh, that's right.
Spider-Man.
I remember you saying that. Let me look this up.
Let me see. Matthew Mercer. It says is Pyro.
Oh well, he.
Because of course, when you want to copy from Mega Man, you copy from the worst Robot Master.
Burn to the ground.
Man?
Burn.
No, Flame Hyenard.
Not,
although he's a Maverick
Robot
Hunter.
Master, Stefan.
Well, he's a Maverick Hunter, but he's still a robot that you fight in a Mega Man game.
But he's not a Robot Master trademark restricted copyright. He's a Maverick.
Does Wily have that trademark?
Of course he does. No, he must do, because I'm pretty sure they. Again, this might just be from the comic book and the Mega Man movie, but Dr. Light and Wily refer to like Fireman, Iceman, Gutsman as Robot Masters before they turn evil. So I'm pretty sure they had a patent for the term Robot Master in that universe. And so
one thing I kind of do like about the game is that to give the Robot Masters more personality, they kind of like follow you and taunt you throughout the level. So it's not like you just kind of go through the level and then you fight them at the end. They're just kind of a faceless being. The problem is that they won't shut the fuck up, and they're also annoying.
Yeah, they have Eggman syndrome in a lot of Sonic boss fights, where like he'll only have like a hand. They only have a handful of voice clips, and they just cycle through them so fucking often. It gets like that design's terrible. Look at that design. What the fuck is that robot?
Quick, Peck, finish him off.
When he's covered in flames, he looks like shit.
Looks like he's wearing like a fuzzy sweater.
Unhand me, Yankee. Come on, boy, finish him off.
But seriously, like I kind of wish that Beck would have just killed him. Like he was just like, Beck, is that you? And then not Dr. Light is like, quick, finish him off.
And then he pulls an Optimus Prime and Dark of the Moon, and as Pyro is begging for mercy, Beck just goes, "You die now," and blows his fucking face off.
The weirdest thing is not Dr. Light isn't the one who created Beck. It's that the skinny guy with his book fort is the one who created all the robots.
Yeah, because he's called. What's his name? Dr. White.
Dr.
White.
It's like, who named you Agent K?
Oh, spoiler alert, but that's actually an alias. That's not his real name.
Oh.
But his real name's even worse.
Is it Thomas Light?
No.
So Gareth and I were trying to figure this out last night, but is the Fat Doctor like Otto?
Yeah, that's he's just the guy that helps out. Like he's just there, and he keeps doing a lot of like goofy. He has all those like non sequiturs. He's like Jiminy, like Great Scott, like all that stuff.
He even has Otto's color scheme of like orange and green.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. But Otto is not a fat robot. He's not Fatbot.
Well, guess what? The poll says otherwise, because yes and also yes are currently winning with 71%.
But that's cheating because you have two yeses, so that inflates the votes.
House.
How is that cheating if I have two yeses?
Why, Stefan?
Because these cutscenes are very poorly planned.
They are shockingly bad. Yeah,
join us for part 2 or not.
Please do.
Please don't.
Please don't. Although next part, I want us to get into the Kickstarter.
Oh boy.
Oh boy.
Really break it down.
Really just dig in there.
Okay, bye.